Let's look at the sentences from Chapter 5. Practice and review. Officium liberos viros semper vocabit. The subject, officium, verb, vocabit, as is often the case in Latin. Subject first, verb second. Officium, nominative, singular, neuter. Vocabit, third person, singular, imperfect. This is your imperfect, active, indicative. Used to call. Duty would call, or duty called, the simple tense. Remember, in the imperfect tense, you can translate it the simple past tense. Duty called. The used to call for habitual or repeated action in the past, or did call. Or in this case, duty called. Duty called what? Now we need to find something in the accusative case. Duty called men. This is your accusative, plural, masculine. Liberos modifies it. Duty would always call free men. Or duty called free men. Simple past. You're getting into a point where there's lots of variation on how you exactly can translate things. Number 2. Habebimus ne multos viros et feminas magnorum animorum. This ne just means it's a question. You can put the ne at the end of the word, at the first word of a sentence, and that indicates it's a question. But this is a verb. Habebimus. So first person plural, look at the ending, mus. The future, the bi, is a sign for the future tense. First person future, active, indicative. Will we have? Will we have what? Find something in the accusative case. We have two things in the accusative case. We have viros et feminas. This is accusative, plural, masculine, and the feminas is accusative, plural, feminine. So will we have many men and women animorum? This is your, I shouldn't circle that because I generally reserve circle for the accusative case, of great courage or spirits. Yes, will we have many men and women of great spirits? Number 3, pericula belli non sunt parva, sed patria tua te vocabit, et agriculae adjuvabunt. Long sentence. Break it up. I encourage you, break up your sentences. Pericula sunt parva, and parva modifies pericula. There you go. So the easiest way, let me back up. The easiest way for finding your sentences, breaking it up, is to find the verbs. Here's a verb, and here's a verb. So you've got 3 different sentences, in effect. This first one, sunt. Sunt is a form of the verb to be. Subject and parva modifies it. Dangers are not small. That's sentence number 1. And I know there's a couple other words, belly. The dangers of war are not small. Get that out of the way. Patria tua te vocabit, the country. So we've identified the verb. What's the subject? Patria. Nominative, singular, feminine. Your country will call you. There's your accusative case. And the farmers, nominative, plural, masculine, will help. So break this down. 3 verbs, 3 sentences. The dangers are not small, but your country will help you, will call you, and the farmers will help. Number 4. Propter culpas malorum patria nostra non valebit. Number 1. Find the verb, valebit. And this bi is the sign for the future. Third person singular, present, future, active, indicative. You've got the verb, now find the subject. In other words, what word in the sentence is in the nominative case? Country. Patria. Nominative, singular, feminine. And is there anything else in here? Well, we have this propter clause. Propter culpas malorum. So now that we've broken it down, now that we've got our subject, verb, and we've broken it down, let's see what it means. Propter takes the accusative on account of the faults. This is accusative, plural, feminine. Accusative with the preposition, propter. Malorum, genitive, plural, masculine. What is this? Of the bad what? This is your substantive use of the adjective. Because of the faults, the blame of bad men, our country will not be strong. Because of the faults of bad men, our country will not be strong. Number 5, mora animos nostros superabat, et remedium non habebamus. Here we have this big et right in the middle. It's a little word, I know, but it's big. It's a big signifier. Find the verb, superabat and habebamus. Those are your two verbs. You've got two verbs separated by an et. You've got two sentences. Break them down. Treat them one by one. The first verb, third, singular, imperfect, active, indicative. What's the subject? Mora. Nominative, singular, feminine. And what do we do next? Find the accusative for the direct object, animos. Accusative, plural, masculine. So we have our subject, verb, object. Great. Delay overcame our spirits. That's the first sentence. Et. The second one, habebamus. First person, plural, imperfect, active, indicative. We did not have a. Let me ask you something. Notice the sentence up above. Mora was the subject. First word, subject, great. That must mean remedium is the subject, right? No, because look at the ending of the verb. The ending of the verb in the second part of the sentence is different than the first one. This ending right here, habebamus, means the subject is we. We did not have, that means remedium must be the accusative, must be the cure. We did not have a cure. Our delay overcame our spirits, and we did not have a cure. Number 6, multi in agris heri menabant et Romanos iuabant. Here we are again. Et, right in the middle. Two verbs, manebant, iuabant. Notice the endings are the same on those. We may have the same subject. So we've identified the verb. Let's look at the subject. Multi. This is the substantive use of the adjective again, nominative, plural, masculine. Many, what were they doing? They were manebanting, whatever that means. Third person, plural, imperfect, active, indicative. In agris, prepositional phrase, means in the fields. So many were remaining in the fields yesterday, and this NT indicates we can use that same thing. Unlike the other sentence that had MUS at the end, that had a change in subject, this one doesn't have a change in subject. So many were doing this, and many were helping the Romans. Accusative, plural, masculine. I want to emphasize as we go through these, I analyze the sentence. Before you jump right in translating, break down your sentence. See what's going on. You don't have to worry about what it means. You don't have to worry about what the translation is. These little words like et and the verbs will help you so much. Number 7, pauci viri de cura animi cogitabant. Here we are, verb right at the end. Let's go to the beginning. Subject, yes, well actually viri is the subject, pauci is the adjective. So, viri cogitabant. There's your subject, verb. Cogitabant, third person, plural, imperfect, active, indicative. Viri, nominative, plural, masculine. Men were thinking about it. What kind of men? Few men were thinking. This de cura, prepositional phrase. Few men were thinking de cura, about the care, and this is animi is genitive, singular masculine, of the soul, of the spirit. The genitive will often fall, it's masculine, sorry, will often fall right after the noun of which it's the genitive of. You know, that the word order doesn't always matter, but they do have some consistent patterns, and this genitive is a very, very, very consistent pattern. Few men were thinking about the concern of the soul. Number 8, propter iram in culpa estis, et cras poenas dabitis. Here's that et right in the middle. Two verbs, you are and you will give. There you go, there's my sentence. You are this and you will give that. Don't know what it means, but notice I've analyzed the structure of the sentence, which gives you a head start. Propter iram, on account of anger. It's just a prepositional phrase. Because of anger, you are in culpa. They say it in culpa, we would say at fault. You are in fault, we say you are at fault. And tomorrow, dabitis poenas, you will pay the penalty. I know dabitis means you will give, but that's just the phrase. We say pay. Does pay the penalty mean have any more sense? Does that make any more logic than give the penalty? No. Number 9, vir emotium non habes, vir stulte. Here's my verb, habes. You do not have otium, accusative singular neuter. And what kind of otium? Virum otium. You do not have true leisure, foolish man. Notice that otium could be. There are circumstances in which otium could be the nominative case, but given our ending of habes, not going to be it. You are the subject. You do not have true leisure, foolish man. Number 10. Nihil est sine culpa. Sumus boni, si paucas habemus. 2 sentences again. Est is right there in the middle. Nothing is without blame. Sentence number 1. Oh, no, notice there's three verbs. We are good if we have few. Few what? Few what? Well, this accusative, this plural feminine adjective gives us a hint. It refers back to faults. Nothing is without fault. We are good if we have few. Few what? Few faults. Number 11. Poeta amicae multas rosas, dona pulchra et basia dabat. There we just have a list. Here's my verb, dabat, at the end. The first word is poet. The poet gave. What did he give? Well, he gave rosas, he gave dona, and he gave basia. What is this? Amica, dative, singular, feminine. The poet gave kisses. The poet gave to his friend many roses, beautiful gifts, and kisses. Let's look at the English to Latin sentences right now. Number 12. Will war and destruction always remain in our land? Let's analyze this. It's a question, so probably the first thing we want to do is remember we want to start out with the word nay. Put nay at the end of the first word. War and destruction. War and destruction. Let's put those together with a que. Might as well do that while we're on in the mode of putting endings on words. War and destruction, those are your subject. Will remain is your verb, and the verb is third person plural because there's two. There's war and destruction. Future, active, indicative. In our land is a preposition. Land is going to end in the ablative, singular, feminine. War and destruction are both going to take the nominative, singular. Nominative, singular. This word happens to be neutered, and this one does too. That's just an adverb. Great. What word are we going to use for remain? Maneo, manere, manui, maniturum, if I'm not mistaken. So, maneo, future tense, we're going to use be, bi, or bu. That's the sign of the future. I'll write it up at the top. Mane bunt. Will they remain? Mane bunt. And we're going to end that with an e, nay, because we know it's a question. In our land, let's put that next. In nostra terra. And then war, bellum. You can use bellum exitiumque, exitium, bellum exitium. We're going to put the que right on the end. You can say bellum, perfectly fine, perfectly fine. Certainly no et exitium. Bellum et exitium. Manebuntne in nostra terra, bellum et exitium. Or you could say manebuntne in nostra terra, bellum exitiumque. I'm not sure which one I prefer at the moment, but it doesn't, certainly grammatically doesn't matter one tiny bit. Therefore, you will save the reputation of our foolish boys. Therefore is just the word igitor. I just like that word, so I'll just put that in there now while I'm thinking about it. You will save. We don't need to put the you. This could all be one word. Second person singular, future, active, indicative. What word do we want to use? We'll use a form of sero, ser, ware, serwawi, serwatum. You will save the reputation, accusative, singular, feminine, of our boys, of the boys. Boys is going to be genitive, plural, masculine. Foolish is going to modify it. are is going to modify it. Igitur. Let's save the verb at the end. Let's put the reputation, igitur, the famam, accusative singular feminine, of our foolish boys. Does he mean sons or does he mean boys? We'll use puerorum. Stultorum, nostrorum. There we go. Put all those together. You will save ser wa bis. Because that B, BI, or BU is a sign of the future tense. S indicates that it's singular. And there you have it. Igitur, famam, puorum, stultorum, nostrorum, servabis. 15. Money and glory. We're conquering the soul of a good man. We're conquering, that's the imperfect tense. We know that. Third person plural. Imperfect. Active indicative. Money and glory. Money, pecunia, nominative, singular feminine. Glory, nominative, singular feminine. The soul, accusative, singular neuter. Of a good man, of a man, a genitive, singular masculine. Good is going to modify it. We don't need a word for of, that's contained in the genitive. We don't need a word for a. Money. Pecunia. It's pecunia et gloria. We're conquering the soul. Let's put soul here next. Animum. Of a good man, weary boni, genitive. We're conquering. Superabant. The BA is the sign of the imperfect tense, and the NT means it's plural, because pecunia et gloria are plural. You could just as well say pecunia gloriaque. I had a little problem putting the I in there, but you can put those together either way. Either way is totally fine. Money and glory, the spirit, the soul of a good man, we're conquering. And so there you have it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.